Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to be going over and showing you how to install the Ultra-Fab Trailer Hitch for 4" by 4" RV bumpers. So adding a bumper hitch to the back of your trailer, it's going to be a great idea. So the main use we have for these, most of our customers are going to be using for a bike rack, but we could use it pretty much for any other 2" hitch mounted accessories. Keep in mind, it's not actually designed for towing. So one of the bigger problems that we have while we're towing is that we no longer have space to put the bikes on the back of the vehicle. Chances are if we have a truck with a truck bed, we're going to be filling that with other camping items, and there's not much room on the tongue of the trailer either. So it really only leaves one other place to store our bikes, and that's on the rear of our trailer. So this is what our trailer hitch looks like installed. It's going to be designed specifically for RVs with that standard 4" by 4" steel bumper. Now, most of the trailers on the road today have this, so there shouldn't be too much of an issue. But I'll first glance with this trailer hitch here, something I really like about it. There's all different kinds of these bumper mounted clamp-on hitches on the market, but this one does a really good job of creating a nice tight connection to the bumper. So we have the two standard U-bolts, which most others use, but we also have an additional method of attaching it, which is down here at the bottom with these two bolts. And basically what this does is it really allows the trailer hitch to hug the bumper to give us a nice, tight, and secure connection. So something else that this particular trailer hitch has that not a lot of other ones have are these two little anti-rattle bolts. So basically what these do is they simply apply pressure to the shank and snug it up more to the inside of the receiver tube. So it's definitely going to do a great job of helping cut down on excess movement and rattle. So if you weren't aware, trailers kind of ride rough, especially items mounted at the rear here, due to how far forward the axle is in comparison to a normal vehicle. Therefore, our bikes and bike racks are going to be subjected to much harsher road conditions. There's going to be a ton of extra movement here at the rear. Therefore, having these anti-rattle bolts here is definitely going to help keep everything safe and secure, keep our bikes in one piece. So in regards to weight capacity, the actual trailer hitch itself is going to be rated for 100 pounds. Therefore, you won't have any issues carrying a few bikes or loading up your cargo carrier with some gear. Now, that said, the bumper may actually be rated separately. The manufacturer may or may not rate this, and if it's lower than the trailer hitch, that's the one we need to abide by. Now, we actually do sell some support brackets to beef up your bumper if the manufacturer's rating doesn't quite align with your needs. So thankfully, we're not going to have any issues with our trailer hitch getting wet. All of our bolts are zinc plated, and the actual trailer hitch portion itself is going to have a nice powder coated finish. Therefore, it's definitely going to hold up well to all that road debris, as well as those elements, being that it's mounted on the outside of our trailer. So in regards to installation, you will need a few common tools. We're going to need a torque wrench. If you don't have one, you can pick one of those up from your local auto parts store. They typically rent those for free. But then we're going to need a 19mm socket. We'll also need a 13mm socket and wrench. But it's completely bolt-on, super simple. We'll go ahead and walk you through this entire process now. So to start off our install, we need to find a good place to mount the hitch receiver. So ideally you'd want it in the center, but sometimes we have these bumper mounted spare tires that can get in the way. So in order to ensure we don't have any interference with possibly a cargo carrier or a bike rack, we're going to offset it a little bit, sort of space it out over here on this side. So before we actually put the receiver tube on the bumper bracket here, you want to make sure the side with the two threaded holes in the top and the side, that's going to be facing out away towards us. And then what we're going to do is, we have ours has a little bit of overhang here, so we actually need to go ahead and slide it under there and then rotate it downward like so. So pretty simple. I'm going to move it over here a little bit. So now once we have it in the correct location, we're going to take one of our U-bolts here. We're going to go up under the bumper and align the holes in the flange for our hitch here. Then we're going to take a flat washer, place it over the U-bolt, a split lock washer, place it over there, and then one of our hex nuts. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side of our U-bolt here. And we're just going to have these hand tight for now. But once I get these two snugged up here, I'm going to go ahead and install the other U-bolt as well, using the same method. So now we're going to take our hex bolt here. We're going to come around to the back side. And if we look at these holes here on the front, we're just going to be lining those up just like so. And then we're going to place a flat washer over that, a split lock washer, and then we have a hex nut to thread on as well. So we're going to do that with both of those two holes there. Just like that. Now once we have everything in position, we have all our hardware mocked up, we can go ahead and begin tightening and torquing everything down. So we're going to start with these two nuts here. Once we get those torqued, we're going to move to those, and then we'll jump back and forth just to make sure they're both snug. So once we have our initial torque on these 4 nuts up here, we're going to come down underneath here. We're going to take a wrench and a socket and tighten up these bolts here. So now once we have all of our hardware initially torqued, we'll come back with our final torque values here. These torque values are going to be listed in your instructions. So now we're ready to go ahead and insert our hitch mounted accessory. We're going to be using a bike rack here. Keep in mind the bike rack must be RV rated. We have plenty to choose from here at eTrailer. And now finally, we're going to have 2 bolts left in our kit here, and this is what they look like. We'll simply insert one of those in the top and then one of those in the side. We'll hand tighten them, and then probably about another quarter turn on a wrench or so, just to help hold everything in place. But now we're ready to go ahead and load up our bikes and we can hit the road. That's going to do it today for our look and installation of the Ultra-Fab Trailer Hitch receiver for 4" by 4" RV bumpers.